looks and it's over. He can't afford to have a mental letdown here because he threw everything in the kitchen sink at O and it worked, and he has to do the same here against CURATOLI.
Key thing there is Sandro BAZADZE coming up onto the piece. The key thing, though, BAZADZE managed to control and contain O in that quarter-final. He did it on his feet with distance. Arguably, CURATOLI's distance today has been near perfect. He's actually, for a very tall person, he's keeping quite a long distance even when he has the right of way. It's a different matchup. It's time for semi-final number 2 here at the Montreal Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix of Fencing's International 2020. Miklos Kosa gets us underway. CURATOLI to the left against BAZADZE to the right. So Jeff, I was saying that CURATOLI's distance has been absolutely supreme today, but he's been keeping quite long distance. So whilst BAZADZE has shown that he can make the right tactical decisions, now the distance has changed from when he fenced O to get through to this semi-final.
That's true, and CURATOLI's also fenced a couple of fencers who are shorter, don't have the same length that he does, so he's used his length to an advantage, but both fencers here have about the same height and length situation.
Yeah, so that kind of cancels that advantage out.
I think
for CURATOLI.
So.
Just questioning whether there was an early start. Looks to make miss, and that is the problem that you have with CURATOLI and the tactic that BAZADZE used against O, where he was able to make O miss. It's going to be more difficult against CURATOLI because on his long attack, he's very, very patient. Waits till the very last moment before changing lines.
And that's going to be a problem if you try to parry without retreating, as BAZADZE did there. He just tried to pick him up on the box without retreating. When you retreat, that gives you a chance to pick up your opponent's blade.
Well, now BAZADZE calling for early start from CURATOLI.
Which it might have been. But he's down 2-0. Make that 3-0. And I was looking at Bauer, his coach said, stop focusing your energy on the referee and go out there and fence.
He's also saying you have to step away when CURATOLI is on the attack. You can't stay toe-to-toe with him, as you were saying he was doing, sticking there in distance and looking for parry.
You can't do that. That's
well,
Bauer is asking for the replay as well, although he's telling the fencer, BAZADZE, to look for it.
So the decision stays the same. I have to say that it looks like Bauer is saying to BAZADZE, do not go backwards. Forces through the attack, but the parry was beautifully strong from CURATOLI, and he gets the riposte.
He's asking for a replay because clearly it appeared that CURATOLI's riposte did not get through initially. Was it a counter parry? That's what he's asking for. Wow, Bauer's giving a tongue lashing. Here's the attack. Well, you really can't tell from that angle. You can't tell from that angle.
It's a clear parry.
They were grinding on each other,
smushing
smushing
I see what you're
each other.
saying, yeah. Another technical term there from Jeff Buchan, smooshing. The hit stands, Miklos Kosa there, giving CURATOLI his 5-1 lead. Picking up the blade this time, Prise de Feu.
So here what we have is BAZADZE, he's down 6-1.
Well, hold on, I have to interrupt you there because Miklos Kosa has come over now to Sandro BAZADZE. He's actually turned his microphone off, which is an indication that he's basically saying to him,
enough.
We must stop this now, we must get on with the fencing.
Exactly.
So make miss from CURATOLI, but he doesn't take advantage and take up the right of way. BAZADZE forces through his second hit. Referee just taking a quick peek at this one. Jeff, your thoughts?
It looked like it's possible that BAZADZE pulled his arm back at the very last second. Referee's taking a look. But I would say this for BAZADZE, wherever this call goes, it goes. Here we go.
Go look at it now. 6 and 2 threes for me.
That's a toughie. Bazadze at this point is down 6-2. He's being outfenced. He's focusing his energy on the referee, which is a losing proposition. He needs to be tactically sound and focus on his opponent, who is outfencing him right now.
Bauer pacing. Bazadze wants to put his mask back on, and I think you're right, Jeff. I think this is going to be given to CURATOLI on the attack. But Bazadze is worried, concerned, and Bauer also concerned. And now Vasyl Milenchev, who's the assistant, has come out.
He shouldn't be doing this. I'm sorry, with all due respect to Milenchev. The referee, Kosa, is running the piece. The video referee should not be talking to the fencers. That's my opinion.
Vasyl Milenchev carries a certain amount of kudos, though. If you're going to excuse any video referee for doing it, it is Milenchev, and usually it is effective.
In fairness to Milenchev, Bazadze's been all over Kosa the whole bout, so maybe he's coming there to sort of... It's 8-2. Look at this.
Well, CURATOLI, as we were discussing, Milenchev coming out, has taken us to the break. 8-2, nothing too special. But again, it was a question of how the tactics were going to be employed by Bazadze, and at the moment, they're not quite working.
And he's in a rough spot right now because he's losing 8-2. He's getting outfenced. He's up against a very tough opponent, ranked number 4 in the world. But he also feels that he's up against the referee right now. So Bazadze's head is in the wrong spot, and it's up to Bauer, maybe the greatest of all time, to get his head straightened on and say, go out and fence and do these tactics and stop arguing with the referee, because you're not going to get him to change his calls.
Well, while you were looking at those brilliant replays that Canadian TV colleagues have provided us with, I was just watching Bauer. He first up went to Bazadze, didn't look very happy, gave him another tongue lashing, and then he turned around and shook his finger at the referee and put his hands up to say 2 big mistakes. Not often do you see Bauer do something like that. Acknowledged by CURATOLI.
Nice start by Bazadze, attack and preparation.
And I think that acknowledgement from CURATOLI has just slightly changed the tone of this match.
Attack again. So we come out of the break, CURATOLI a little flat-footed right out of the break.
Both jump in, both do the same thing. Referee not separating those hits.
We have the best referees in the world. We have the best video referees in the world. We have video replay. Most of the calls at the end of the day are correct. Another touch for Bazadze. And the momentum's changing a little bit. Still a nice cushion for CURATOLI.
Oh, both going into the guards there, cancelling each other out again. What's notable, though, Jeff, is that Bazadze's not gone backwards.
That's coming clearly as that's tactics from the coach. Probably said, don't go back once.
Was there hesitation on that one?
We shall see.
The scout from CURATOLI has done enough for Kosa to go and have a look at the video. We have a look at it here. No hit given in the end, that replay inconclusive. Finds the blade this time, and CURATOLI changes his tactics, looking for the blade, gets the right of way, and the hit acknowledged by Bazadze.
Quite a forceful touch there.
That's the 3rd time in this second period that CURATOLI has come in and been called for preparation.
And it's 4-1 after the break in favor of Bazadze, so the momentum has certainly changed a little bit. He seems more focused right now, which he couldn't have been any less focused than he was in the first half of the bout.
Well, we're getting a white light there from Bazadze's side of the piste, and so, well, he's just disconnected his body wire, plugged it back in again. The light disappeared for a little bit, but now it's back on again. And looks like the engineers from the wireless team, STM, are out to, it's not necessarily the fencing equipment itself, it could be the wireless apparatus they use to transmit the signals that were once transmitted by wire in a wireless environment.
You know, it's interesting, Karim, you said it doesn't look like Bazadze has retreated off the line once, and it's probably a tactic that he heard from his coach. And it reminds me of the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, when I was team captain. The American saber fencers took gold, silver, bronze, Zagunis, Jacobson, Ward. In the semifinals, we fenced against Ukraine, who wound up winning the gold medal in Beijing. And what we noticed is that the Ukrainian fencers never, all three of them, never retreated off the line once in an entire 45-touch team match. Clearly, it was a tactic that was employed, and it seems to be the case here.
Some good background knowledge, and also slipping in that USA got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but unfortunately...
You're a pro, Jeff.
But they took the bronze medal, when if you take 1, 2, 3, the gold medal is really what you wanted to get.
So I see here Christian Bauer handing over the suspect body wire that was causing the white light. Curatoli down the other end of the piece, trying to keep his concentration. He had a commanding lead at the break, and Bazadze's chipped away at it. But still 6 points away from the target, 15 points, and a shot at Bollard Apathy in the gold medal match.
So we've seen both referees be a little antagonistic towards Bazadze, because I can tell you as a referee, yeah, you make mistakes, you're doing the best you can, but you don't want to see a fencer publicly trying to embarrass you by making hand signals or facial expressions or whatever, and it seems to have stopped.
A bit of needle in this one at the start. But it was actually an acknowledgement from Curatoli at the start of the second period that seems to have just dampened the tone of this one a little bit. Not in terms of the exciting fencing, but in terms of that needle. Getting through on the second attempt, Curatoli hitting with the remise to get into double figures. Oh, this time make miss from the Italian.
And that's probably could be the turning point of this bout. Two very decisive actions in a row by Curatoli.
Bit of a lucky one there. Curatoli's not sure what happened, but turns around to his coach and his stepbrother, Leonardo Caserta, who tells him just to brush it off and get on with it. 4 more for Curatoli, make that 3 more for Curatoli, and he's into the gold medal match at the Grand Prix here in Montreal.
Curatoli almost lulls you to sleep with that slow lunge that he starts and freezes the opponent.
Make miss again, has the right away on the long attack, and the flunge goes through. Curatoli just 2 away from a shot at gold here in the first Grand Prix of 2020.
It's the first time we've seen Curatoli push Bazadze down the piste, and he made no mistake and scored the touch. Referee says reprise attack, and before he finishes, he says, let me take a look at the replay. Reprise attack, which means the first attack was no or short, and then Bazadze continued with the new or the second action, the reprise.
Does make miss as well, the Georgian. Next hit, massive, especially if you're a fan of Sandro Bazadze. Preparation from the Georgian this time. No argument from the coach, Bauer.
Bazadze wanted a replay, but he was out.
And Bauer said it was against you anyway. Bauer coaching Bazadze now said you were prepared. Curatoli 1 away. He's made it through to the gold medal match here in Montreal. Luca Curatoli dominated the fight. There was a bit of needle in the first half, but settled down a little bit in the second. Sandro Bazadze got the gold medal at this Grand Prix last year. Sorry, got the bronze medal at the Grand Prix this time last year. It was in Cairo. And